I want to welcome Agile XRM to the podcast. I've known the people at Agile XRM for the past 12 years. I've seen how their business process management tool can add massive value to complex organizational processes in sectors such as finance and government. If you have complex processes or a need for dialogues on the Power Platform or Dynamics 365, take a look at how this BPM tool can add value. You can find them at agilexrm.com or check out the show notes for more details. Welcome to the MVP show. Today is going to be awesome because I get to speak with somebody local to me in New Zealand. So hopefully you'll enjoy this recording today. Now, let's get on with the show. Today's guest is from Wellington, New Zealand. He's a Power Platform chapter lead at Westpac. So this is awesome because for me, it's another person in New Zealand in the Power Platform that I get to talk to. So my home country. He's originally from Canada, but of course based in New Zealand. He enjoys epic beers. Who doesn't, right? And tasty coffee and he's a huge ice hockey fan, which is something I doubt he gets much of in New Zealand. Anyhow, he's been working for over a decade with Dynamics 365, Power Platform CRM, and lucky to have worked across different countries and some of the largest implementations around the world. You can check him on Twitter at Eric Regnier and also on his blog, powerusers.microsoft.com. His blog. I like that. And welcome to the show, Eric.
Hey, Mark. Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. Now, I'll let you correct my mispronunciation of your last name.
That's fine. Everybody messes that up. It's Regnier. So
Regnier.
It's actually a French sort of Canadian last name, yeah.
Nice. So do you speak French as well?
I do. It's my mother tongue, yeah.
Nice. So I've got so many questions, right? As in, I don't know many people that have moved from Canada to New Zealand in the Power Platform space. So before we unpack that story, tell us a bit about family, food, and fun for you.
Food, I guess, yeah. Me and my wife were a bit of a foodie for sure. I guess, I don't know, my comfort food or go-to is always pizza. So we're lucky in New Zealand, there's quite a few good pizza places. So family have a small daughter. She's 3. She's full of energy and lots of attitude. Don't know who she takes it from, but yeah. And that's it. My wife is actually pregnant, so we're expecting a little boy very soon.
Wow, congratulations.
So, yeah, exciting times, yeah.
Yeah. My daughter is now 10 months old, so we're just coming up on our first year.
Oh, nice. Congrats. Yeah. It's, whole lot of fun, but yeah, changes
it is, right?
The whole dynamics, yeah.
Yeah. So what's your story? How did you get into tech? How did you move to New Zealand? Give me that kind of background.
Yeah, so basically, I always liked to travel. I traveled for leisure and, from pretty much every continent in the world. And I was previously working for Avanade, which is sort of a joint venture between Microsoft and Accenture. And as being an international company, I was lucky enough to sort of benefit from that and worked a bit in the States, in Canada, in India, and Hong Kong. And that's sort of, so basically I got to get a feeling of working abroad and looking at all these different cultures and, just experience traveling in different countries. And I guess Australia and New Zealand was a place I'd never been before, right? So when I got the opportunity to come here, when we were looking for sort of our next step after Hong Kong, I got the chance to come here and we're like, why not? Let's enjoy this part of the world, which is something I haven't done. And that's it. 4 years later, here I am.
Awesome. Now, I've done a lot of work in Hong Kong myself. So I had a couple of big clients in Hong Kong around Dynamics 365. One was a very large shipping company, Mitsui Ocean Liners, which were headquartered there. And The other one was a big international moving company. Tell me about your time in Hong Kong. What are your thoughts?
It's really a crazy city. It's they really live by, work hard, live hard, work hard, play hard. I mean, and so it was just it was really intense. So we really worked long hours, but like really after work, we always did some. Went out, enjoyed the whole city, spent a couple of years there. And after a couple of years, it was just, it was time to move on. I mean, that lifestyle, especially with my wife who moved there as well. And she had a bit of a tougher time to find a job and whatnot because she's in the health industry. So because she hasn't spoke Mandarin, and Cantonese, it was a bit harder for her. So basically, we're looking at our next steps it was really good. It was really an experience. In terms of IT too, it was kind of like, working with, these big systems, this big mainframe. It's something that I only started working at the start of my career. So it was kind of, at the beginning, was going back 10 years in terms of sort of their IT processes and all the IT systems. So that was really sort of a shock, moving from Canada, where they sort of started the move to cloud, right, and started having more modern type of systems. And then going back to Hong Kong was like, going back 10 years.
Totally, right?
Yeah, but it was good. It was definitely a good experience.
So when you're saying, mainframes and systems like that, were you starting to do integrations between those and Dynamics 365 and the Power Platform?
Definitely. Yeah, for sure.
What type of use cases?
Well, in Hong Kong was the Hong Kong Jockey Club that I worked for. So basically,
yeah, I know well.
So we had integration from like customer activities, marketing campaigns. We had all the betting accounts and some of the bets and the claims for all these different systems. So we sort of integrated that inside Dynamics. So Dynamics CRM, which was obviously on-prem, was basically the centralized place where any interactions or requests with the clients or the customers of HKJC was the place where we manage all those and see all the history. So,
did you get into racehorse management as in using Dynamics? Because I know that was one of their big things when I left the employer I was working for.
So no, not specifically horse management. It was really more around managing, betting accounts, claims, any feedbacks, stuff like that, a customer service, more oriented type of engagement with them. But yeah, all that was, the Dynamics was their main sort of system for that. Yeah.
Yeah, so cool. No, I had talked with them extensively then at moving, based on the success they had in that area with you, into doing full life cycle management of thoroughbred racehorses. So it's a very interesting organization to work with. Tell me about coming to New Zealand.
So yeah, it was at first it was a shock too, because we were so used to a big city, right, and everything opened, like almost 24 hours, right, and whether it was shops or restaurants. And then we came here, and things closed very early.
Yeah, and you're in the capital city of our country.
Yes, however, I just recently moved to Auckland. So
did you really?
Yeah, in the middle of our lockdown, in our COVID lockdown, which was excellent timing. But so. At the beginning, it was a shock, but you know what? We really like it here. Like, the work-life balance is great. And, now that, our daughter is born here, and our second child, as I was mentioning, is going to be born here. So it's just a great place for family and raise, kids. And also, we're really happy here.
So you think you'll stay for a long term?
Long term. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? But
totally.
For now, we're happy here for sure.
Tell me how, where do you play most of the time now? And, I read in your profile there, Dynamics 365 is where you started. I can see the Power Platform. You've obviously got a CE, lens of the world. Where do you really, what was your journey? What was your business application journey with Microsoft?
So basically, I started as a .NET developer back then, right? And I was hardcore developer, but always specialized sort of into the line of business applications. And obviously, as we did more and more systems, moving on to back then was that Dynamics CRM, I think was 4.0, was just a natural path, right? If you do line of business type of applications with the Microsoft stack, you're bound to somehow work with Dynamics or that sort of ecosystem. So yeah, I just started, and then there was more and more projects, and yeah, I've decided, instead of being sort of a generalist or master of all trade, I said, you know what, let me focus on that, because I just saw there was a lot of momentum, a lot of buzz around it. And the company that I was working for, Avanade, there was lots of demand, right? And we saw all the sort of RFPs and, customer requests coming was all around sort of the dynamic space. So yeah, I just decided to specialize in there, about a decade ago.
Wow. So I see in your history, you've worked a lot, partner side. And I always say, if anyone's having a career in our space, there's kind of broadly 3 core categories you can work in. You can work for Microsoft, right? Represent the product, sell it, that type of thing. You can work for a partner, and, you will probably get exposed to multiple projects, multiple geographies, things like that. Or you could work for an end customer. Which I understand. Are you working for an end customer now?
I am. Yes.
Yeah. So tell me, as somebody that's done 2 out of the 3, I take it you haven't worked for Microsoft yet?
Nope, I haven't.
What's the difference? A lot of people ask me, what's the big difference about working for an end customer and working direct for a partner? What are the kind of highlights that jump to mind for you?
Yeah, good question. So at the beginning, actually, I started off my career working for the customer, like for an internal IT organization. And I did that for about 3 years. And then, I had some friends and some ex-colleagues that went on the consultant route, right? So that's something I wanted to try. So I went there. And then, I did about 10 years or so in there. And then, just recently, a couple of years ago, I decided to, come back to the customer side. And definitely, there's pros and cons for both. But one thing that I really like at the customer side is you truly feel the whole ALM side of a system, right? We're really involved from beginning to the continuous, journey of the system. And you really see after if, your solution or what you're doing was really good, and how that evolves, right? And how that scaled with time. So that's something that I sort of enjoy. And something I didn't expect to, but I sort of miss now that I see it, is supporting the application. So at Westpac, we work in a way that you support what you build, right? So even, some customers, they might call, say, oh, that's broken, or how can I do that? And, just having that interaction with the actual end users is actually quite nice, right? So that's something that I realized that I actually missed. For sure, working for partners, right? That too has some pros, right? So the thing is, you always work with new projects. So people that are seeking, always switching from different systems or project, that's something that you might have more, right, with partners, So, but working for a large organization like Westpac, there's so many initiatives going on internally that you still have that sort of opportunity to work on different types of systems or projects or, modules within the whole platform. So, definitely, I would say the number one thing that you really see on the customer side is the whole application lifecycle management of what you're building, right? So there's a bit more personal touch to it, right? There's a bit more,
So one of the other things that people have told me, they don't miss time sheeting. They don't miss being on the bench. They don't miss that side of things. What about you?
I was lucky enough. Honestly, I don't think I was ever on the bench, so I didn't really experience that much. But I did hear the same thing. Timesheets too. However, Westpac just recently stopped the timesheet. So previously, even at internal customers, there might be some timesheets. So, but now, it's true that timesheets are, that's a nice little bonus. But yeah.
So straight after this call today, I'm having a call with Ryan Cunningham. Do you know who he
Nice.
is?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Actually,
yeah, yeah.
last week with Airlift, we just had a few calls with him.
Exactly. So I'm about to do a podcast with him, and the topic of my podcast with him is organizations that really buy into the Power Platform, not for one or two apps, but for 100, 300, 1,000 apps. You know, like Slumberjay, they got over 20,000 apps now running on the Power Platform. When you're working customer side, how, like, have you started that whole, because I'm not talking about so much the technology, but at the back end, you've got to rally the subject matter experts. So you've got to get the folks that have got app ideas that might be working totally unrelated to, the software teams. How do you really start evangelizing, inside the customer to rally the folks, all the people that could actually contribute and start, coming up with concepts for apps, maybe even doing some citizen development, so many opportunities there. Are you doing stuff around rallying the wider organization to your cause?
Yes, we do to a certain extent. We have a big we promote the internal community inside Westpac, and we have something called the Dynamic Special Interest Group, where we invite all the business or subject matter expert, where we showcase really some of the Power Platform features to sort of show them if we say internally we say the art of the possible. So just to promote a bit and evangelize this system internally. But yeah, I think a lot of that, there's a part comes from there, but a lot of that is just having a close relationship with the end users, right? And having a mature and rich backlog sort of does that naturally. Right. And that's sort of what we're trying to do is as we speak to the users, as we've, even speak within the teams, we let the ideas flowing and we capture as much of these ideas inside our backlog. Right. And then we've just go from there.
I like it. Do you find your, and I was talking with the lady that set up this whole process in Virgin Atlantic in the UK when I was living there. Do you get to the point that if you're like your backlog is so long, it's almost like you can't see the end in sight of it?
It is long, and we do have a big practice, but our backlog is sort of divided per squad and even per tribe and things like that. So, and then we have a concept of an opportunity backlog and a backlog, right? Where a backlog is a bit more refined opportunity backlog, where an opportunity backlog is just a bucket where we want to capture as many good ideas and things like that. So there's different teams that specialize in different areas, right? It could be by technology stack or by business domain, but yeah, it's quite well. It works quite well, I would say.
Yeah. Awesome. Tell me about becoming an MVP.
Yeah, so that was kind of a nice surprise. So basically, I've done a lot of work online on the online forum, so on Power Apps, the community. Basically, even for my own sake, because like Microsoft is on fire. They're releasing features all the time, and the documentation doesn't sort of follow the rate that features are released. And so I find as a sort of senior professional in the Power Platform space, it's kind of part of our duty, I say, to sort of help out people that start off on that journey. So a way I want to help out was just simply on the Power Apps forum, right? So, and just answering lots of questions and things like that, right? And then became, some of the top contributors and solution authors, and also helping some local MVPs like the Rami of this world with some user group and things like that. So yeah, and then all of a sudden, I got nominated and and got it. So yeah, it was really good. So
any impact, for you in your career from getting it?
Not necessarily, but I think what's awesome is sort of like the PGI events, the program, the product group interactions, and sort of that visibility and that sort of relationship with the product team. I think that's really beneficial, right? And it really helps, and as well with the whole MVP family, as they say, it's really nice community. So yeah, I think from that aspect, it's nice to get sort of that support, and yeah.
So good. Final words, any advice you would give to other people that think that MVP is something that's of interest to them?
Yeah, just start somewhere. Help out with a community, whether it's, answering one question or even asking question or updating some of the documentation on the MS Doc site. It's so easy to do. And I think you just need to start somewhere, and then you'll see as you start, you'll get the momentum of it, right? And then you contribute more and more and more. And yeah, next thing you know, who knows, right? But I would say just get involved, whatever the channel is or the way. It's an awesome community out there, and there's multiple ways people could get involved, right? So
I like it. Okay, you ready for some quick fire questions?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay, I'll always start easy. Are you a morning or a night person?
Night.
So what, you like early hours of the morning before you go to bed, or?
No, like I like to sleep in.
Oh, yeah, nice. No, I like to sleep in. I like that. Would you rather explore space or the ocean, and why?
Space. Why? Because it's bigger, I guess. There's a lot more stuff.
Yeah, I like it. There's more stuff. Final question. What one accomplishment are you most proud of?
Oof, being a father, I would say.
Nice. Eric's been fantastic talking with you.
Mark, thanks for having me. Yeah, it's been fun.
Hey, thanks for listening. I'm your host, Business Application MVP, Mark Smith. Mark Smith, that is, not Swift. Otherwise known as the NZ365 guy. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. If you want to be a supporter of the show, go to buymeacoffee.com/NZ365 guy. Otherwise, stay safe out there and see you next time.